In today's video, I want to take you back to a time when there was no such thing as a conference title game, no SEC championship, ACC, Big Ten, and definitely not a Big 12 title game. That all changed back in 1992 when the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference made a bold and extreme experiment by having the inaugural SEC championship game, and it was the first of its kind in college football. And this game almost derailed the championship hopes of a storied program that was inroads to achieving their goal of winning the national championship. We also want to discuss how one play changed the trajectory of this team's fortunes, and it changed the future of college football as we know it. In today's video, we're going to cover the 1992 inaugural SEC championship game and how one interception changed college football as we know it. We're also going to dive a little further in how conference title games may either help or hinder a program's chances of achieving the 12-team college football playoff. If you like this type of content, please be sure to like and subscribe. And remember, when you subscribe, you'll never miss an episode of College Football Legends. So without further delay, let's dive right into our topic.
This past weekend, the major conferences in college football, including the SEC, Big Ten, ACC, and all the other conferences, including the Mountain West, Sun Belt, and Conference USA, all had their conference championship games. What many fans don't realize is that before 1992, this wasn't always a part of college football. And as we saw over the weekend, we even had a few unexpected outcomes at the University of Alabama and Ohio State, storied programs that have been dominant within college football, unexpectedly lost their conference title games. Concept of a conference championship game only exists due to one bold experiment that happened back in 1992, a football game with high stakes, huge doubts, and one unforgettable play that changed the sport forever. This is the story of how the SEC championship game reshaped college football as we know it. Before 1992, college football had a major fairness issue. Different conferences played different number of games, the schedules were uneven, and teams often avoided tough matchups. Debates over who deserves to play for the national title ran wild every season. But when the Southeastern Conference expanded to a 12-team format, adding Arkansas and South Carolina, it triggered a unique NCAA rule. Any conference with 12 teams or more could split into two separate divisions and stage a championship game between those division winners. No one had ever done it prior, and nobody would even know if the fans would care. And the coaches, they hated this idea because it meant playing an extra game on top of an already grueling college football season. And this one game could completely derail a team's championship run. The year was 1992. The Alabama Crimson Tide out of the Western Division and Florida out of the East. They met at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, and the whole nation was watching to see if this experiment would succeed or would it flop. Steve Spurrier's high-powered Florida offense was up against the Alabama Crimson Tide and their stout defense, and that team was undefeated going into the Southeastern Conference Championship game. For nearly 4/10 quarters, the game was a defensive grind on both sides, and every play felt huge, and every mistake felt like it could swing the entire outcome. And then, with just over 3 minutes left in regulation, history happened. Florida's running back Eric Redd had already notched 2 rushing touchdowns on one of the most stout defensive fronts in all of college football. And their quarterback Shane Matthews had not only done an excellent job of protecting the football, he avoided costly turnovers that could have put their team in a terrible situation. With a little over 3 minutes left to play, Florida had possession and a legitimate chance to take the lead late in the game. The Florida Gator offense had possession with just a little over 3 minutes left to go in regulation, and their quarterback Shane Matthews was pushing the offense down the field and threatening a very stout Alabama defense and putting their chances at a national championship in jeopardy. This is when that quarterback dropped back to pass, and a junior cornerback from Town Creek, Alabama by the name of Antonio Langham read the pass perfectly. He jumped the route and snagged an interception, sprinting down the sideline for 31 yards, winning the game 28-21 in dramatic fashion. The stadium erupted, and the fans at Legion Field lost their minds. And in that moment, Antonio Langham didn't just win the SEC championship game. He proved that the concept worked. The drama, the stakes, and the spectacle. It was everything the SEC had hoped for, and more. And the TV ratings soared, fans loved it, and college football took notice. After that dramatic SEC title game, the dominoes fell. Every conference joined in, including the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the ACC, having their championship games in 1996, 2005, and 2011, respectively. And even the Pac-12 and all of the Group of 5 conferences joined in having a conference title game. What started as a risky Southeastern Conference experiment became a permanent part of college football's identity. Conference Championship Weekend became an unofficial kickoff to bowl season, packed with rivalries, championship stakes, and national title implication. For 3 decades, winning your conference title wasn't just prestigious, it was essential. Despite this major shakeup over the last 3 decades that's changed college football as we know it, everything might be changing with the arrival of the 12-team playoff. And here's the irony. The very thing that the SEC invented, the conference title game, it might now hurt teams more than it helps them. Under the BCS format and the old 14 playoff, you had to win your conference in order to stay alive. A loss in the conference championship game, that often meant that your season was over. But in the 12-team playoff era, elite teams already are safely at the top, and now they face even more risk than reward. A conference championship game can cost a team a first-round bye. It can drop them down several seeds, lead to injuries right before the postseason, and even knock them right out of the playoff picture entirely with a very bad loss. The only teams that have something to gain today from this format are the ones that are already on the bubble. And ironically, those same bubble teams would have never had a chance in those old formats anyway. Currently, we're entering a strange new era. The conference title game is still a tradition, it's dramatic, and it makes money. But their strategic value has shifted, and all of those traces back to the game in 1992. That one interception, that one touchdown, and that one decision by the SEC Commissioner Roy Kramer that changed the postseason landscape forever. From Antonio Langham's legendary pick six that won the SEC title game back in 1992, to the rise of Conference Championship Weekend, and now we go into uncharted territories of the 12-team playoff format. The sport has evolved in ways that few could have predicted. But what do you think? Should conference title games still matter in the new playoff era, or has it become more trouble than they're worth?
What were your thoughts about today's topic? I want to hear your thoughts about this in the comment section below. Do you think that the conference championship game either helps or hinder a program's chances of achieving the 12-team college football playoff en route to the ultimate goal of winning a national championship? Drop those thoughts in the comment section below. But more importantly, I want you to join our community of college football enthusiasts. And by doing that, you have to like this video and remember to subscribe to our channel. And by subscribing, not only will you be joining our community, you'll never miss an episode of College Football Legends. Until next time.